Hello, and welcome back to our exploration of barriers to social mobility in Minneapolis using the Opportunity Atlas. Now that we know how to navigate and prepare data provided by Opportunity Atlas, we may begin to analyze the geography of incarceration rate by census tract in Minneapolis. First, I will visually compare incarceration rates for Black and white residents, ensuring that the everyone scaling option is selected in order to stretch data to national incarceration rates. As seen here, in almost every census tract with data available, Black individuals are incarcerated at a higher rate than white individuals. More specific patterns of incarceration become apparent when selecting overall incarceration rates for all residents and comparing this layer with the fraction non-white metric shown under neighborhood characteristics in the metric widget on the left side of the screen, or by selecting the drop-down option of the widget in the top right hand of the screen. By flipping between the fraction non-white layer and the incarceration rate layer, we can see a general correlation between largely non-white census tracts and inflated incarceration rates. This pattern is most visible in the city's north side and central Phillips neighborhoods. Incarceration rate and percent non-white data for each census tract in Minneapolis may be downloaded for further statistical and geospatial analysis in CSV format by selecting the Download Data option at the bottom of the left widget. Based on our previous exploration of census and ACS data, it is clear that Black people are incarcerated at a higher rate than white people, and less white areas are more heavily policed than more white areas in Minneapolis. Some of the structures upholding this systemic inequality may be identified using the Opportunity Atlas. Specifically, we will compare historically redlined areas with those areas experiencing high incarceration rates in Minneapolis today. In this way, the atlas may be used to both amplify the successful conditions for social mobility and explore the roots of some of the structures of inequality limiting social mobility. To do this, we will use the Overlay Your Data tool in Opportunity Atlas. This tool enables users to add outside data such as shapefiles to the Atlas interface. I will use shapefile data from the University of Richmond to identify areas that were redlining, a process of excluding urban areas with larger non-white population from receiving affordable housing loans and other investments. In the 1930s, the Homeowners Loan Corporation drew maps in cities nationally, outlining places with significant non-white populations in red or yellow, defining these areas as hazardous or undesirable for mortgage lending and other financing. Starving these areas of investment, redlined areas often remain some of the areas with the least opportunity for social mobility in the United States. All redlining data used in this example can be found at the Mapping and Equality webpage hosted by the University of Richmond. Here, I am uploading a shapefile of those areas in Minneapolis which were redlined, or deemed hazardous for investment by the Homeowners Loan Corporation, due to their high non-white racial makeup. Next, I'll add data of areas graded as grade C by the Homeowners Loan Corporation, or definitely declining due to growing non-white population in the 1930s. I'll display these areas as outlined in black, and I'll title this import as grade C. As one can see, many of the areas with present high incarceration rates were either redlined or deemed definitely declining by the Homeowners Loan Corporation in 1930. The significance of this past discriminatory practice, denying entire areas investment based on racial makeup, is seen today as formerly redlined areas, starved of investment in the mid-20th century, retain above average incarceration rates and have generally higher percentage non-white populations than other areas in the city. As seen using the Atlas's Overlay Data tool, Systemic discriminatory practices which place limits on social mobility may be examined and understood using the Opportunity Atlas. In this way, the atlas can be used not only to predict and promote future upward mobility, but also to analyze the geographies of past discriminatory policies whose structural impacts remain.